Hello and welcome to another episode of Stacking Triggers. My name is Bill and I am just full of so many rad counters that I'm just bleeding out. I'm joined by Dan. Dan, how are you going today?
It's not how rad works in the Fallout games.
It's not, but it's how rad tokens work now.
Is it really? That's so stupid.
Rad counters. Sorry, it's rad counters. Yeah, I believe it's damage and mill at upkeep. Yes. You for each non-land card milled this way, you lose one life and a rad counter. Okay, sorry. I'm just going to read it. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, if you have any rad counters, mill that many cards. For each non-land card milled that way, you lose one life and a rad counter.
Rad counter should just be infect that you can remove.
Or that removes itself if you mill non-land cards.
Yes. Do rad counters do anything else other than that?
I'm sure there's cards that have effects based off of rad counters.
If you're at 20 rad count, if you have an opponent that's a 20 rad counters, they lose the game or something like that. Like that's the whole point of rad is you'll get radiation poisoning and then eventually you'll die.
Yeah, I know, but that's not why we're here today. We're having some good conversations today around our fortnight in Magic. We have, Dan, you went to a TCG collector convention, and we have ban and restriction announcements coming up. So the ban and restriction announcements, they're going to be a little different this time around for us. As you notice, you might be listening to this a little later than our normal release schedule. That's because we're going to do at first a predictions, which we're recording on our normal recording day, and then Dan and I are going to have a reactions recording, which gets spliced in after that. So you'll get to kind of see if we were right or wrong, and how
all in the same episode.
All in the same episode, so you don't have to click the multiple videos.
Yeah, we're trying this out. See if it works and if people like this, because a podcast I listen to that I steal a lot of ideas from actually does that, where they will be like, all right, we're going to record all this episode, and then this big news announcement that we know is coming out, we're going to talk about it later and then just throw it in the middle of the episode, except the predictions or the actual announcement will be at the end of the episode. They'll be chronological.
Yeah, this makes sense to me, and I like the idea because then people get to call us idiots or not right away.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just kind of kick it off with this week, this fortnight in Magic, fork knife
in Magic. Yep.
This fortnight in Magic. Dan, did you get to play Magic this week?
I did. However, you talking about Fallout reminded me. Did you know that Fallout is not going to be on Magic Arena, or not Magic Arena, Magic Online?
Yeah, I saw that announcement. That's
all the legacy players are so mad.
Not only that, I don't know how many new common cards were added with the Fallout.
I want to say 0.
Really?
I want to say absolutely 0.
I am going through real quick. It's not looking good. I think you might be right. Yeah, it is all reprints.
It's all reprints, but probably no downshifts.
Oh, I didn't even check for downshifts.
Because Fallout is essentially a commander set, and commander sets generally commander deck sets are actually that's not true, because actually with the Warhammer 40K, I think
there was a big downshift. I believe
there was a downshift. I don't want to say a big downshift, but there was a downshift. I don't remember what it was at this current juncture, but it was there.
I think Thought Vessel might be a downshift.
Thought Vessel.
It's not good.
Thought Vessel? It's a common?
No, it's a common. I think it's always been a common, actually.
It
might have always been a common.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But yeah, anyways. Legacy players are so happy because they're like, 40K is finally coming to MTGO. Legacy is going to equal paper. And then 2 weeks later, like, hey, Fallout isn't coming to MTGO. And it's like, well, Legacy doesn't, or MTGO doesn't equal paper anymore. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's so stupid.
It is. I get coding paper is hard. Like, writing the code to make the card do the thing is hard. But, like, it should just be something that they do on the back burner between hey, we'll release X number of cards, per patch
Release
from
a
these
deck per
sets
patch.
or that. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that's kind of insane, and I don't know if this is it's a licensing agreement that they have to then hammer out, but I really feel like Wizards has to take care of the Legacy community and be like, hey, if this stuff is going to see play in Legacy, and some of it is seemingly going to see play in Legacy, don't know what exactly, but I've seen people in Legacy be like, oh, I want to try this card out. Give them
Yeah,
the
I want to
opportunity.
try. I want to try certain cards out too.
Yeah. So like this needs to now be baked in. Like every
Yeah.
Universes Beyond Commander set, because uh Universes Beyond Assassin's Creed is going to be for sure on MTGO because it's modern legal.
Right.
And so like
It has to be.
unless we're gonna get the legacy experience for modern, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
That would be funny.
I'm gonna lose my absolute mind if that happens.
If that happens, that just means they're trying to push Arena more than anything.
Yeah, well, and then if that's the case, they need to start pushing actual formats that people play on
On Arena.
Arena.
I know. Yeah, it's just what's going
Fixing
on
the
over there?
exposure. I'm too dark.
It's a party.
Party. But as for my Fortnite Magic, yes, I have played a bit. I played. Did I play last week? Can't remember if I played last. Oh, I did play last week. I lost a black green scam, and I'm just like, I fucking hate my
What?
local meta. I hate my local meta so fucking much. It's just like there's people who just show up with like these bullshit decks, and it's just like, man, can you guys just like spend a little bit of money and play like tiered decks that people actually play? Like, come
Yeah.
on. Like, come on. Like, fuck this. Like, I don't want to play against a fucking martyr all my life. I don't play against black green scam all my fucking life. I don't want to play against somebody's fucking jank ass brews all my life. Like, just play a tiered deck, please. For the love of fucking Christ. I just need one tiered deck.
Yeah. How'd you do? How'd you do again in that weird meta?
I dropped immediately because I'm just like, I'm not playing this fucking meta. Like, if these are the only people who are here, I'm just gonna play One Piece with my buddy, and we're gonna
Yeah.
teach him. Like, I'm gonna explain to him because I know both sides of our matchup. Like, it's Bello Betty versus Uta. I know both sides of those matchups. That matchup, so I'm instructing him on how to play like the Bello Betty matchup into Uta. So like, I know that. So I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking do that because like I just need somebody to give a shit here because I'm gonna
Yeah.
lose my mind. So I
Oh my
go this
gosh.
week and I saw a Rhino's brew or Rhino's build that had all the lands that I have. I have the exact 74. I'm missing a commercial district, which ironically you were telling me earlier you
I think I
sold today.
just sold.
Yep, you just sold today or like recently. And
Yeah.
so I'm missing that surveil land. It runs 3 other surveil lands, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. But
I think it's okay.
it could be okay. But like the thing was, and the conversation around rhinos running the surveil lands was that you're already running Ketria Triome. So you already had that land that you were using whenever you were taking a turn off. So now you
Yeah.
can just use the surveil land instead to take that turn off and actually do something with it. As for
Yeah.
how rhinos felt, it felt fine. It felt like it was the best I've played rhinos ever. Uh,
hmm
Historically, I think I've never won a game. Or not, I've never won a match with rhinos.
Yeah.
Uh, until now, round 1, I beat Murktide. He likes he went around saying, like, he wasn't salty, but he was like, man, if I just played that unholy heat correctly, I would have won the game. And it's like, no, because I in your draw step, I evoked endurance on you to remove
Oh.
your
Oh
delirium.
no. The delirium.
Yeah, I did it in your draw step, and then he tries to go like I did that the previous draw step, and then in my next turn I make a 7/7 Murktide because I have nothing fucking going on, and I'm like, oh, I just top deck this Murktide.
Oh,
I'm gonna make a
I think
7/7 Murktide.
I think I played against this list this week.
Rhinos?
hmm
Yeah, Rhinos has been playing Murktide for months.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen rhinos anywhere.
Yeah, Rhinos plays a fuck ton of like two, at least two. I've seen a new list with one, and I'm just like that.
Well,
I think it's insane.
so it's the Surveillance too, though. Like
Yeah,
he had at least two of them.
yeah, that's the general build now going forward. Is
Okay,
currently
well, I don't
two
know
with
this.
Thundering Falls and Hedge Maze.
Yes, that's what he has.
Yes, so like commercial. This one I found was like had no gemstone caverns. That's the one I cared about. That
Ah, I see.
because I don't have gemstone caverns, and I'm not spending $55 to buy one or two gemstone caverns for a deck that I may or may not play ever again.
Yeah,
Especially
I got you.
considering our conversation coming up shortly. But um, so I removed his delirium. He had no delirium, and he goes to like he blocks my Murktide with I want to say Ledger Shredder. Like he
Hmm.
chumps it with a Ledger Shredder, and then he goes, "Okay, Unholy Heat." And I'm like, "Okay," and he's like, "All right, 6 damage." I'm like, "You don't have delirium," and he goes, "Oh my god, I screwed up." And it's
Oh
like,
my
I
god.
mean, yeah, kinda, but also like, no.
That's why you endurance
That's
when you
why
did.
endurance, like you had delirium, and then I removed it because like I don't need to be doing that shit. Like I don't need you top decking a Murktide because you had more than enough to drop a Murktide on me. I don't
Mhm.
need you unholy heating any of my stuff. I just want to be over with it. So I'm going to evoke this endurance and be done with it and solve the problem.
Yeah.
Round two, I played against Murktide. It was another close, like it was a close 2-1. He just had all the answers for all of my rhinos in games 1 and 3,
Wow.
and I couldn't stick anything else, which sucks. Like when you're not able to
Yeah.
stick a single
Yeah.
thing else, like it's just like, ugh.
That's hard. I I have comments. I'll let you know.
And then round three, I played against Amulet Titan. I won 2-1. They played the Gruul Amulet list that has like commercial districts and you know
I'm
runs
not
like
familiar with this one.
Storm's Wrath and that in the sideboard. Like that card makes a lot of sense in the sideboard because it handles in Rainbow Rhinos in particular
I see.
Scion plus all the Rhinos plus like Charlotte's Agent. So like played against that, they Storm's Wrath me, and then they stick a Titan, and I'm like, yeah, I can't beat this Titan through my own Blood Moon. So let's just go to game three. And then in game three, I draw 3 Cascade spells and have 3 lands and
Mhm.
have a Fire and Ice. And I'm like, boy, sometimes this game is really, really, really easy. So I go like Sorcery Speed Cascade on turn 3. And then in my combat step, on their next turn, they try to resolve a One Ring. I have the Force of Negation, so like, and then in my combat step, I'm like, okay, here's a fucking Violent Outburst, and they're like, boy, I hope this next card is really good, like really, really good. Like it had to be exactly like Storm's Wrath, and they didn't top
Yeah.
deck it, so they lost and dropped because they were 1-2. Um,
Ouch.
and then for the final round, I played against a person who I lent Urza Sagas to, but he removed the Urza Sagas from his deck and already gave them back to me. Guess he didn't think we were playing 4 rounds. He thought we were playing only 3 rounds. So we just played One Piece for
Ah,
the finale. So like nothing to really talk about there. It was a purple Luffy mirror matchup for those of you who care, which are purple mirror matches in One Piece are extremely weird.
okay.
I'm just saying, if that matters to anybody, that's what the mirror match was. It was weird. We're like at the tail end of OPO5. We're moving into OPO6. I'm very excited about OPO6. I have like most of the cards I need, but that's for a different
Nice.
time.
Also, people, if you enjoy hearing the One Piece chat, just leave us comments down below so we know, because we don't know what you like. Tell us what you like, please.
And I mean, if you don't like the One Piece chat on here, but you want to hear it somewhere else, there's my personal YouTube channel.
Oh snap! Dan has a personal YouTube channel.
Yeah, I posted a
What's
whole
that plug?
video. There's no good link to it currently because I only have 19 subs, but I got 2 subs just for my one video. So like, let's go.
We will link it, and people will see
I'll
it.
put it. I might put it in the show notes. I don't know. We'll see.
No, you should put it in the show notes.
Yeah. Bill,
Anyways,
your Fortnite.
Yeah. So last week, my wife had a doctor's appointment during regularly scheduled Modern. From what I was told, they did not fire, and so my LGS has since moved the night because what happened? There's a little
Mhm.
bit of store owner drama. It feels like.
Yes.
Um, so my LGS scheduled on Wednesday for Modern Night, thinking that they were the only store that was going to be having Modern on Wednesdays. Here to find out that the local calendar for everything was completely wrong, and
Hmm.
that they were competing with another store about 30 minutes away, and so they no longer had, and that was closer for a lot of other people. So
Yep.
they didn't want to, yeah. So they didn't want to go there. And then another store came back off of like a rebuild or something and decided to schedule their Modern Night on the same night as my store. And both of these stores are on the opposite sides of the county, and my store's right in the middle.
Yep.
So nobody's coming to my store because nobody's actually here except for the locals, and there's not enough of us who play Modern, sadly, to support it.
Right.
Uh, so he moved to Thursdays, and so Thursday this past week was the first Thursday night. We had 4 people. We had enough to kick off. I
Eh.
think the news hasn't filtered around yet.
Yeah,
Is
that's probably true.
Yeah, because like it was a very late and very quiet announcement. So that's probably the thing. But we kicked off, so I got to play. I was running the list I ran in Chicago
Mhm.
for the 75K, with the change of. No, I had the stubborn denials in there. Oh, fluster storms in the side,
Good.
and
Good, Bill.
yeah,
Good.
yeah, and they actually were relevant this
Yeah,
week.
of course.
Yeah. So my first game was against. Is it Fairy Wizards? Uh,
Yeah.
Essentially the Wizards deck, except they were more favored towards fairies.
So spell stutter
Uh,
sprite,
Spell Stutter
sleep curse
Sprite,
fairy.
yeah, Sleep Curse Fae, and then they of course had Snapcaster Mage because it's good.
No Tashanas.
I didn't see any.
Hmm.
Oh wait, no, there was a Tashana in there
Yeah,
at
there's
some
just it's
point.
just straight up wizards. Like, yeah,
Okay,
there's a bit of the fairy package in there for the spell starter sprite, but yeah, it's just
yeah.
the wizard package.
Yeah, I did pretty good against them though. First game I won, second game I lost, third game I won. And then I went against a domain mid-range deck. It's the domain deck, running the Leyline of the Guild pack,
Yeah.
but he says he skews himself more towards Abzan. I'm
Okay,
like,
so you just
okay,
want to lose. Got it.
yeah. No, well, he won because
Okay, but like you don't beat that deck.
yeah,
Like
I just
you're a
didn't.
blue deck. You don't beat that deck.
Yeah, Scion
Yeah.
of the Draco showed up, I think, both games,
Yeah, you
and
don't
with
beat that
with a
card.
guild pack out,
Yeah, you
and
don't beat that card.
yeah, it was bad. Um, yeah, so he beat me 2-0,
Yeah, you
and
don't beat that card, but
then
that deck's bad. If he's playing a more mid range deck with like an Abzan focus, wrong. It's Ragavan, Wild Cattle, or maybe not even Ragavan. It's Wild Cattle, Neshoba Brawler, uh, Kavu, Draco, and then
he was playing. So in place of one of the cats, he was playing Tarmogoyf, because he just liked it being a bigger beater.
okay.
Don't look at me, man. I didn't
No,
build the
like
deck.
it can be fine. The thing with Tarmogoyf is that like it basically, and I'm just kind of yelling at you, even though it's not your fault. But
It's not.
like
I didn't play it.
it like we like, you need like you would need like Leyline to be in your fucking graveyard plus your Scion plus an instant and like for it to be like remotely close to the stat line of Neshoba Brawler. Like Neshoba Brawler dies to Lightning Bolt, and else like
Yeah, I think
that
that's the one he
sucks.
took out. I think that's
Like
the one he took out for the Goyf.
because it's 2 mana, and
Yeah.
but it has trample inherently. So like I don't know, man. I just feel like you played Neshoba Brawler.
I don't know, man.
I think that's so bad. Is he at least running fucking Bolt and
Yes, he's running bolts.
Tribal Flames
Yes,
and
and
Leyline Binding?
Ragavans. Yeah.
So he's just a zoo list with fucking, and he calls it. It's
Well,
just
and in his sideboard, he has the green white command. What's it
Dromoka's
called?
Command. That's a normal card.
Yeah,
He he's just running a fucking zoo list. It's
I don't know.
just zoo.
I don't
It's
know.
not, I'm
This
not.
guy.
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at him
I
for
know.
fucking
I know.
misclassifying. It's just zoo with Tarmogoyf. It's it.
Yeah, he's also the one who had some thoughts on bad play experiences around two mana pingers, but it's fine. It's fine. Like I don't know. It's there's people like this. I feel like at every store, and you know what? He shows up for modern and he plays stuff, and he brings other people with him. So I'm okay with him doing his thing.
I'm not. Fire this man into the sun.
Anyways, yeah. So lost to him, and then he lent his Rhinos deck to somebody else who was there who hasn't played modern ever.
Oh,
Uh yeah. But like that was the
boy.
only other deck that was the only other deck he had, unfortunately.
Hey, buddy, you haven't played modern. Here's this tier 1 deck.
Now he's played other stuff that like he's played like Popper and stuff, so like
I know, but
but he's
like,
played Poppertron.
but like,
So
Poppertron versus like anything in Pioneer versus anything in Standard, and then like Rhinos,
yeah.
where if you have Force of Negation plus Violent Outburst, it's a fucking legacy deck, man.
Yeah, well, he I beat him pretty well. Although so the way the breakers were, it was the guy on the domain list. He just won every match because he did, and then
It's Zoo.
everybody else had the same record except for me and this other guy. So if the other guy won, we were all tied for second, except for breakers. You know,
Right.
yeah. So
So Domain Zoo beat Is It Fairies, which sounds right, and
yeah,
Rhinos?
yes. Now this is somebody who didn't have experience playing
I
the
get it.
Rhinos
I get
list.
yeah.
Yeah,
Although I
because
think
he made quite a few plays that I exploited as well. Uh,
I don't know. If you're familiar with either side of the matchup, how does that matchup go? Because I'm actually really curious.
as far as
No, not
which
you. Like in the comments, those of you in the comments, let us know how that matchup actually is. Because like I think that feels like a 50-50.
you're talking about the domain versus Rhinos.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
that feels like a 50-50.
I think it's slightly more favored towards domain now with the guild pack and the Scion.
With Guild Pact and Scion, I think that's like an unbeatable draw for uh for Zoo. Like you can't remove anything.
Hmm.
Like your Fire Ice is blanked. Your
Yeah,
you have there's a like Dead Gons are blanked. Like there's a lot of you draw into a lot of blanks with that draw. So like to me that's an auto lose. But like I'm sure like the games where that isn't a draw are fine and
yeah.
winnable.
I think what he just steamrolled the kid. Unfortunately, he's like, "Here's this deck you've never played, but we're going to steamroll you." But we also did let him use like I think we all agreed to just let him proxy a couple cards too, because like this kid wasn't expecting to have to like let his deck go out and be borrowed. So like we let him proxy the Rhinos player. We let them proxy some Scalding Tarns because it's like we just wanted to fire. So,
Yeah.
and it's like yeah, we got to play so the
Right.
store keeps supporting it. But yeah, so I went 2-1 against the Rhinos matchup.
Nice.
Was very clever. I felt very clever because game 3 I had a chalice. I opened on chalice and something else, but held the chalice back and then drew into an engineered explosives and played the explosives as bait for the Beseju because I had a feeling he kept it for that. I had a couple turns, right? Because like rhinos can't do anything really until like turn 3-ish.
Right. I don't feel like you trot out either card.
You don't think I sent out either card?
No. You don't send
No.
out either card until like they're ready to cascade. Like they don't have any hand disruption.
Right.
Or
No, I
like
didn't. I didn't play Chalice until turn 2, which
were you on
he was on the play. He was up mana.
okay, so he was on the play. So
Yeah, he
yeah,
was on.
okay. So yeah, you playing Chalice then is correct.
Right. Yeah, because I wanted to hold it back and have some counter magic up just in case he
But
tried
you
to.
played
Yeah.
explosives first?
Hmm.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Explosives is like like is the ripcore. Like you throw Chalice out there and they think that's your primary option, and then you have the explosives, and that's your secondary option. So like they're forced to basically have like outburst plus force of negation, or like outburst plus force of negation plus Tashana's Tidebinder for your engineered explosives.
Hmm.
So
I
like
don't know.
yeah,
It worked out.
I'm sure it worked out, but like the
Yeah.
correct sequencing is Chalice on 2, hold explosives, make them like force them to deal with the Chalice when they can cascade, so that way it
Yeah.
pushes back turns where they're able to cascade. That's what you want to do. Like you want to force their mana off of being able to
Yeah.
cascade immediately after dealing with the Chalice.
Yeah. They also did a couple misplays to like they were doing like violent outbursts on their turn.
It's
It,
not necessarily a misplay.
it's a misplay because they were holding like force of negation.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, if they have force
Yeah.
negation blue card and they're doing that, then yeah, they're fucking up.
Yes. Yeah. That's that because a couple times he tried like not a couple times. Once he tried to cast force for free, and it's like
Nope, can't do that.
no, sorry.
Now you do that end step. I've seen people fire it off and upkeep, and it's just like if you know that deck plays engineered explosives, why are you doing that?
Yeah. I think it's an end step thing.
I
Yeah.
think it's an end step thing, but I've seen people fire it off and upkeep.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it's the sequencing thing, and that's something that like I'd have to talk to a Rhinos player about. Like when do you
Yeah.
fire off and upkeep versus end step?
Yep. But that was my Fortnite and paper magic. I've been playing a lot of MTGO. I
Mhm.
played against Mengu
You sure did.
on
Talked about
his
how cheap your
recent.
deck was.
Yeah, he did. He was. I feel like he was upset that my deck was
No,
$70.
no, he was fine with it. No, really, when he was talking about cheapness, he was talking about like mana
The
value
mana
because he
cost.
was like,
Oh,
"Oh boy, this is the matchup for Tashia's Hideous Laughter." Like, because he was playing a
which he
mill
didn't
deck.
have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's playing
yeah,
the new build deck that plays Glimpse the Unthinkable instead of Tasha's, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I wish I had Tasha's for this because I'd hit like 20 cards." I was like, "Yes,
yeah.
yes, that's true."
Yes, yeah. It was funny. Just kind of watch him. I didn't even realize I played him until I saw the video go up.
Yeah,
Because like
I had to watch it and like I just yelled at you the whole time because again I have to yell at you every time you play.
that's
Every
fine.
time
I
I
mean,
watch you play.
I feel like I did pretty well though. So like I was on 8 whack with goblin grenades. Um so it was a good matchup. I won game 1 against him and
Yeah.
then lost 2 games after that very quickly.
Even with Leyline of Combustion, like he almost died to Leyline of Combustion in game
He
two.
was so in game 3 he was down to 6 life.
Yeah, it was crazy. But having Crypt Incursion both games that really hurt.
That's what killed me was
Yeah.
his cryptic incursions.
Yeah, two in the 75 and getting both in games two
In
and getting one in
yeah,
game two and one in game three. A little crazy, but
yeah, it was fun. Mengu, if you watch it, love you. But yeah, that was it. And then I played Boris Convoke in Modern. I'm thinking I'm just going to build that deck just as a fun weekly deck, just to if
yeah.
I get bored of playing whatever I'm on, because it's cheap, fast, and fun.
Ooh, the land base needs to be reviewed. I don't think 16 lands is correct.
No, it's 17, I think, actually in it, but I think it needs to be more because you don't have good ways to dig for land.
No. You like the Sunbig Canyon's cool. Like the sun, like obviously 4 of Sunbig Canyon immediately because like in modern being able to draw a card is very very valuable. But
Yeah,
like there were a couple times where I'm just like, Bill, you're doing this wrong. how are we still doing this wrong? Like, you played like Memnite naked and then nothing, and I'm like, why?
Oh,
Like, why?
I
Like,
don't know.
Memnite's free. You just hold the card. You just hold the free card in hand. It doesn't like the free card in hand is
Uh,
designed to trigger the bushwhacker. Well, actually, it's reckless bushwhacker that matters with that.
which isn't it? I don't think that's in that deck
No,
anyway.
no, no. But it's but like
It's
you can throw it out there for like a quick gleeful, like it's a 1 mana
yeah.
3/3 that you get to put on the
Yep.
like you get to put on the battlefield. Like that's
Yeah.
relevant. It's also relevant for whenever you just have like one creature out there and like they can't possibly convoke on one creature. You're like, okay, sure, here you go. Here's 4.
Yeah. It was fun though. Definitely a fun deck. I don't think it will ever be a tier deck at all.
You know what card we need?
Uh,
You know what cards we need to get banned for it to be a tier deck?
all the free cards.
No, Red and 6 and Bowmasters.
Heyo, we
Because
brought it back.
like you have your Gobbo, you have your Phyrexian Goblins, you have your Memnites, you have your Esper
Yeah.
Sentinel, which like that's such a threat. Like that's such a thing that people have to deal with on turn 1. It's actually crazy.
And I think I drew 1 card out of 5
Yeah,
matches.
people will pay for that. People absolutely
Pe-
will pay for that card.
yeah. That's I think the other thing the deck needs is a little more draw. Because if you don't get into your Knight Errant, you can't really reload.
Right. There was a time where I was like, "Oh, Bill, why aren't you reloading here? Like this is very like you were in a very obviously advantageous spot and it was like just reload. Like this is like you can take a turn off to reload here. Like you don't have to aggro this person
Uh,
down and you like played right
I
into
aggroed.
something and I'm like,
Oh,
I'd
I'll
have
have
to
to watch
I'd have
it.
to review the VOD, but it's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is a very obvious take the turn off, reload and,
Yeah.
fist fuck
Well.
them on the next turn."
Yeah. It's definitely fun, though. Like I said, so. But yeah, that's been my Fortnite Magic.
Well,
So
nice.
moving on, though, you went to a TCG. You said swap meet convention.
Yeah, kind of a swap meet, actually. So
Yeah.
there was a bunch of vendors. I heard about this through the grapevine, that there was a One Piece tournament there. I was going for the One Piece tournament. I showed up with like 12 minutes to get like to the One Piece thing, but it didn't really explicitly say where I should sign up for the One Piece
Oh
tournament.
no.
So I didn't sign up for the One Piece tournament. Because this took place at like the NC State Fairground, and that is a fucking disaster. It took me half an hour to leave
Oh,
and I could see the exit the entire time as I was trying to leave. It's
was
just
it just?
people are jackasses. Like there's no courtesy because like the second people would be able to pull out, well, there's rows upon rows upon rows of parking spots.
Yeah.
So instead of going like, okay, we pull it up here, one car pulls out, and then
Hmm.
everybody pulls out, this car pulls out, and then everybody pulls up, this car pulls out, and we just kind of go in that fashion. Instead, what everybody
Yeah.
decided to do was, okay, here's this one row. All right, we're all gonna fucking just gun it right in front of the person, and it's just like, guys, like you're fucking everybody behind just by being a jackass, just by being a jackass. And I had multiple people try to just pull in front of me for no fucking reason. Like I hate
Jesus.
these people. I hate these people. I don't know if I'll ever go to another event at the NC State Fairgrounds just because of
Oh,
that. Now,
jeez.
also part of it was that the Hurricanes were playing a game, and the state fairgrounds are like right across the street from the arena. So I'm sure
Hmm.
people were trying to skirt the parking and being like, "Oh well, like let's not pay $40 for Hurricanes parking. Let's just park at the NC State Fairgrounds. No one's gonna really
Oh,
actually check to see
jeez.
if we're at the fairgrounds or not, right?" And they didn't. So
Right.
fuck those people. Fuck those people in particular, but fuck everybody who just can't even like afford like common courtesy to like let's get everybody out of here at a reasonable time.
Jeez.
But so I get there, I don't make it in time for registration, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go browse stuff.
Yeah.
I find a One Piece table, and like they have like a bunch of One Piece bulk. So I can start going through
Yeah.
the One Piece bulk, and I'm like, this is a radical beam. This is like $5 for like $4, but like this is like $5. I'll pull this
Yeah.
out. And I'm just like, hey, how much for all this bulk here? And they're like, oh, it's 4 for $1. And I'm like, oh, so I get that for a quarter? Boy, the profit I make off of that is pretty insane. I continue to search through the bulk and I'm like, boy, all of these cards are like $3 or more. Like, what the fuck is going on? So
Yeah.
I start pulling out like a bunch of fucking bulk cards that are worth like quite a sum of money in total.
Yeah.
I think overall I pulled out a total value of like $80 and spent like 20
Jesus.
because I saved some for myself because I just
Right.
wanted to. But like anytime I saw something like remotely valuable, I'm like, oh, that's mine. Oh, that's mine. Oh, that's mine. Like,
Yeah.
and
Damn,
and
son.
and I even found like a playset of a card, and like my buddy who was there, he's like, oh, I need those. I'm like, I'll sell them to you for like half what they're actually worth. Because like
Right.
half what they're actually worth, I still make a profit off of
Yeah.
because like the store just didn't know what they had or just didn't go through the bulk or so. I don't
Yeah.
get it. I don't get what the fuck happened there, but I made out like a fucking bandit.
Jesus
Now,
Christ on a motorbike.
I want to contrast that with a different store. So I went to another booth and they had like a lot of Magic the Gathering bulk. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's cool. Like they had like 4 or 5 boxes out. And I looked through all that. I'm like, hey, do you have any more bulk? And they're like, oh yeah, I have like this much bulk. And they started putting out a couple more boxes. I go through all that bulk. And like, wow, you're really going
Yeah.
through all this bulk. I'm like, just fucking keep all the bulk coming. Like all the bulk, give it to me. So I
Right.
find in that bulk, later, as I'm like getting ready to check out, fourth Aerolingus. Yes.
How much were they selling that for?
So their bulk was also 4 for $1. Yes.
That's a $25 card.
It's he found it online for 17, which I will get into.
Okay.
So there was that. I found a Sulphur Springs, a full art Sulphur Springs, and a couple other cards, and then like a bunch of cards that I was like, I don't really need these, but I just want these. Like
Right.
these are like decent values to have for like $1.
Right.
So I take all the cards over, give them to him, and he's like, okay. And then he starts looking up every single card on TCG Player.
Oh, he's one of those guys.
And I'm like,
You had it listed at 4 for $1. That's why I was buying
yeah,
it.
that's why I was going through it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so he pulls out fourth Aerolingus, the couple Sulphur Springs, and a couple other cards. And I'm like, man, like, I
Yeah.
get
Like
it.
there's
I get it from one aspect because like you don't want to eat shit, but also like if you cared that much, you would look through the fucking bulk you have and price it.
right.
So like he like it still wanted to. It's down. I'll also say this: for finding the fourth Aerolingus, I feel like I should have gotten all my bulk for free.
You should have because you saved him potential
Because
money.
I had 44, I pulled out 50 cards.
Right. What,
So
50? Holy cow.
50. I pulled out 50 cards. I only got 44 of them. So that's $11. So yeah, he was
Right.
like, here, you can have it for 10. I'm like, fine, fuck it. I don't give a shit. Like I'm just like, I'm just like, I was really aggravated by that. It was like, I'm
Yeah.
fine with you not wanting me to take the fourth Aerolingus. Like I'm fine.
Yeah,
Like
that makes sense.
and I'm fine with you wanting to actually sell your cards for what they're worth. Fine. But like fucking throw me a bone here. Like don't be like, "Oh, I took off a whole
Right.
dollar from your thing." Like, bro, you were about to eat like cuz like
So much shit.
the 6
Yeah.
cards that I pulled out were like $29. Like
Jesus. Yeah.
just be like, "Here, your bulk's free. Thanks for finding all this stuff. I really appreciate it." Hey, no problem, man.
Yeah, like you saved him time and money.
Yeah. And I'll contrast this again with another store where I went to look through One Piece bulk, and there was this card called there was this card that was like $5 in their
Mhm.
bulk bin, and I pulled it out. I'm like, "Hey, this isn't bulk," and he's like, "Well, you found it in bulk, so it's bulk." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I
Cool.
got that card for 25 cents or whatever, like whatever their bulk prices were.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like a cool way stores can be cool. Like, I'm not saying I should have gotten the fourth Aerolingus. Like the fourth
Right.
Aerolingus, I think was a bit ridiculous. But like the fact that he went through all 50 of my cards and drilled into
That's
all of them and tried to
that's
find
bad.
like what are the cards that are actually worth way too much to be bulk prices was insane. Like it took like any kind of joy out of the experience that I had.
Right. That's awful. Yeah. So like you and I rag on my LGS all the time about not liking to make money,
Yeah.
but like the price he lists is the price it is.
Yeah.
And and you're able to say too, like, hey, I've noticed this has been sitting for a while and the price does not reflect what the market is. And he'll go and look it up and be like, oh, you're right. Yeah, here, let's change that. But other times too, though, like, he'll go through and like, especially on like release days, right? Like Fallout release happens. He's going through and he's getting so many cards coming in, it's going out that he's like, he's just listing things at the price at the time that he sees on TCG Player and what
Mhm.
they're selling for. So he's going to have cards at different prices, and he just takes the lowest. Like, I don't care what the price is right now. Whatever that lowest price is what we'll list it for.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. It's just
Yeah, I just don't like that tactic with store owners. Like if you actually cared what was in your bulk bin, like don't go through it when somebody pulls it up. Like if you truly
right.
care what's in your bulk, go through it.
Go through it
Like
beforehand.
take
Yeah.
take the couple hours it's going to take to go through the bulk bin and be like, is everything in here truly bulk? Because oftentimes it's fucking not.
No. Yeah.
Like I went to a different booth and I found a retro frame preordained selling for $1. That's a $4 card.
That is a $4 card.
I'm like, I didn't realize that Aklataz the Bat God card from Lost Caverns of
Oh, it's
Ixalan
expensive right now.
was a
Yeah.
$6 card because I found it for a fucking dollar in that booth. I would have bought that, but like I stopped buying standard cards because I was like, I'm not gonna compete in any standard events. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
what cards are actually going to rotate here? And I was gonna buy a playset of cut downs for like maybe like $2 for a playset because they were all in the bulk bin, and that's probably a little high. But regardless, I was gonna buy that. I'm like, actually, they rotate out, so like, why even buy them? Like, who cares?
The only thing I could think of is me. Like, I don't even know. Like, cut down seems like it'd be an okay Pioneer card,
Fatal Push is
but
just
like,
better.
so if there's a naked Adeline,
I mean,
fatal,
yeah,
right? Like,
but also
like
like
that's yeah.
you can trigger Revolt.
Well, that's true too. Yeah,
So I don't know. Maybe cut down makes it to Pioneer, and I'm wrong. And
yeah.
when I go to buy my playset, I'll eat shit. But like, I just don't feel like that card. Like, it already doesn't see play in any Rakdos deck in Pioneer
Which
as
is
it
weird.
is.
Yeah,
So
that's
like,
true. Yeah,
to me, it's just not a card that people care about.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, like things that like will definitely like that are going to rotate but will maintain value. I think are the what's it called? Any lands, any of the lands that are the tri lands.
Well, yeah, the tricycle lands, the fast lands, the pain lands. Those.
Even those aren't even the pain lands and fast lands. Those are not high on value right now.
No, they're
Those
cheap.
are those are cheap.
Well, yeah, because a lot, like almost all of them got reprinted. Well, the Fastlands got reprinted, and then like what was it? The Allied Fastlands got reprinted, and then the all the Painlands were reprinted. So like, yeah,
Yeah,
they don't have very much value currently.
nope, that they do not. But it is what it is at this point.
Yeah. But all that said, I'm going to another trading card convention next weekend to see if somebody else mislabels their One Piece bulk and forgets that Radical Beam is a $4 card, and that certain cards in OP01 got received erratas, and that the pre-errata cards are worth a lot more
Worth a
money,
lot of money. Yeah,
or potentially going to be worth a lot of money. I think I've talked about it before with you, but like I have a play set of these cards that are like pre-errata, but I accidentally got like a post errata card, and exact same
yeah,
price, like or like within like a couple dollars of each other kind of
right.
price. It's
Yeah,
like not drastic, and it's like fuck for I mean like for a couple bucks to have like potential first wave printings. Yeah,
yeah,
like yeah, I'll do that, and just like if I ever get out of the game and I need to sell things, and it's like, oh, here, look at my first printing of this card, and they're like, oh my god, this is worth so much
Oh
money.
my god.
Here, more money for me, like for slightly more money now. Like that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Seems like you and I are starting to get into the card selling business.
I mean, a little bit, but like
Yeah.
it's also about like future proofing to a degree, where you're like, I want the first printing of this card,
Yeah.
and it's cheap enough at this current juncture to get the first printing of the card. There are going to be exceptions to where that doesn't matter. Like a lot of Magic the Gathering cards aren't going to hold their value upon first reprint, so like those
No.
aren't going to matter. But like One Piece currently, the way it's built, I think it will matter.
Well, yeah, because you guys get like you guys get the same cards printed over and over, but they're usually different arts, aren't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
there
So
are special printings, which are cards from previous sets that are printed in a new print run with new print art, all that stuff in later sets.
yeah.
Which like, and those are a lot like those have high rarities on them, so they're very expensive as it is. But
Yeah.
they don't really affect because of the high rarity on them. They don't really affect the original printings.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's my card collecting days. We'll see what happens next weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I wish I could find those here. Like I see them get posted every now and then, but it's always on a weekend I'm doing something or I'm on call and I can't leave the house. So
Man, just leave the house. Who cares?
uh
You don't have to be on call.
just sucks to suck
Yeah.
is basically what it is. But yeah, Dan, let's move now to our what is it? Ban and restriction announcements.
Mhm.
We are getting ready for that. That's happening today, the day everybody's
Release
listening to
day.
this, and it's probably already happened. So there's probably been a lot of thoughts and everything, but we don't know because we can't see the future right now. What do we think is going to
Hold
happen,
on.
Dan?
I'm divining. Hold on.
You're, are you scrying your orb? Are you
I'm scrying
pondering?
my orb of Palantir.
Are you being a pondering fucking nerd?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of eyes right now on rhinos because
In
it's
modern, yes.
in modern there's a lot of eyes on rhinos because it's inching that spot of play that Rakdos was at, and I believe previously they said that they were going to be more strict, with or not strict but more liberal with their bans to try and keep the formats exciting and healthy. I think that's what they said.
I don't know. I don't want to put
I
words
think
in mouths and be like, oh yeah, well, they said they're going to do more bands. I was like, no. I don't know.
I can't remember specifically, so I could be remembering it wrong. Just FYI, I'm an idiot. Uh, but yeah, so let's kind of look at modern because that's kind of where you and I play the most,
Yes.
and see kind of what we think there. Uh,
My original thought is no changes.
you think no changes?
I legitimately think there'll be zero changes. I know a lot of people were like Violent Outburst, get it out of here. And believe me, I understand. I hate the interaction of Violent Outburst plus Force Negation. I think that is too powerful for the format and
Yeah,
needs to be curbed in some way. I think forcing rhinos from being uh uh Teamer, you force them into Bant with Ardent Plea, and I think that makes everybody happier.
yeah. So looking here, because it is the weekend of SCG Con Philadelphia.
Mhm.
So I'm just looking at their Friday 5K RCQ, which was modern. I don't know how they get away with doing different
They
things,
are
but
they are
yeah,
destination RCQs, therefore they can choose whatever format they want.
yeah. So 19% of the meta was Team or Cascade.
What percentage of the
Uh,
meta was domain rhinos, and what percentage was living end?
let's see here. Living End was 5%,
Okay, so we're at 24% Cascade.
and I'm trying to see. I don't know if Domain is going to be a separate thing or
Okay,
not.
so roughly a quarter of the meta is Cascade,
Yeah.
which like
There's Domain Aggro. That's probably not the
that's
same.
likely Zoo.
Yeah, that looks like Zoo to me. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we're
because
just gonna assume it wraps up into Team of Rhinos. So
yeah,
again, 25% of the meta is Cascade.
yep, 25%. And the top 8 is first was Rakdos Scam, then
Nice.
second was Merfolk.
Yeah, let's go
Okay.
Merfolk.
Third was Rakdos Death Shadow.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna look at that
It's
list.
terrible. I hate it.
I'm gonna look at that list for later. Okay. Anyways, and then it was Goryo's Blink.
Yeah,
I got F by that. Mono White Martyr. Is it Murktide made it to the top 8?
let's
Mono
go.
Black Coffers, Golgari Yawgmoth, Zoo was the number 9.
Oh, so no
Domain Zoo.
Teamer, Rhinos, or Living End in the top 8. Interesting.
No. Nope. It looks like it's a pretty healthy top 8, it looks like.
Yeah, I think what there was 8 different decks.
8 different decks. I believe it was all 8 different decks, yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Yep.
relatively healthy. Of course, one tournament is not all
It does
encompassing of a
not. No.
format, so
Nope.
I'm not saying take it with a grain
It's
of
not.
salt, but like what you're hearing here isn't as
This is not
yeah
scientific in any
no.
means. This is very small sample sizes. I'm just trying to get an idea of what people are playing out there, because I haven't been paying attention a lot. Right. So,
Uh, I will
yeah.
say actually something I've seen is that Rhinos has disappeared from challenges over the past week, and it
Really?
was after the ban announcement was made. Like, hey, we're having a ban restricted announcement on next Monday. So like,
When they make the announcement, they've already made the decision, right?
yeah, pretty much. So like, but like, it feels like a meme. It might be like slightly a meme, but also potentially true that people are just like, oh, I don't want my Rhinos to get banned, so I'm going to stop playing it until after the BNR.
After the PNR. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing I could really see is maybe the Cascade, or what's really bad to play against though is a turn 2 Scion. Like that feels bad, but it's not
yeah.
impossible to deal with. It's not like awful. It's just a bad experience because assuming they have the nuts, right? They have the ley line. They mulligan to the ley line, and they get this 2 lands and the thing.
Yeah,
You're kind of dookie, right?
yeah. That was a big worry that I had when that deck first came out. And it's like, boy, the value you get just from having like Scion plus Cascade on turn 3, that seems so fucking gross.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's the only thing I can think of that they might ban, which in my opinion maybe isn't needed, but I think it's also not going to really hurt anything because it saw 0 play before, and so it'll
Zoo was a thing. People were playing
Zoo
Zoo.
was a thing. Zoo was a thing, but I don't think they really did much Scion. I think it was like a 1 of or a 2 of.
Are you
I don't think
high?
it. I might be.
Bill, Scion was a 4 of in Zoo before
Oh,
this.
was it? Oh,
Yes.
well, it was also a couple cents before this too. I'm going to go and look up a zoo list real quick and
Yeah, like
see.
it was the same list except like I forget what you took out for or what like Leyline of the guild packs were placed. But like we fucking played a league with Zoo. Go
Yeah,
find
I
the
don't
video
ever.
where
I
we
know.
played Zoo.
I don't remember ever having the guild pack.
We didn't have guild pack. I'm saying
Or I'm sorry, the
we
Scion.
100% had the Scion because I made you
You're
fetch to
right.
play it.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I've got it pulled up now. I've got it pulled up.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
the list like
It is a 4 of. Red and 6. I think looks like something they might have taken out.
Red and
Maybe.
6 seems so bad in Zoo. Oh.
I don't know. This
Was
could
that
be
the
a
list
weird
we were
list.
playing?
I don't know. This is just a list from back in October.
Was that the list we were playing?
It's close to it.
Red and 6 and Zoo. Red and 6 is a fucking card advantage card. It's not an aggro card. Zoo is an aggro deck. We're back
Yeah,
to
they
this.
also
Zoo is an aggro deck, not mid range.
they also had Shardless Agent. hold on, this can't be a good deck.
No, that was a thing where they did like Shardless Agent.
To try and
Um,
cascade into Tribal Flame?
yeah. And then you also had General Ferris Rockrick because you were doing like the multicolor permanent thing,
Oh, yeah.
and they had like
This one
Lightning
doesn't have it.
Helix
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff.
Yep, I gotcha. Yeah, interesting.
But
Eh,
I don't know. I don't feel like that interaction has broken Modern
yeah.
like we thought it would. Like I originally was like, man, that seems really good, and then like it just kind of put up the same results as regular rhinos.
Yeah. It's just rough, I think. Like, when they have the nuts,
Yes,
it's a win more condition,
yes,
uh, in my opinion. So, I think it really helps Zoo out a lot, but
yes.
again, like, I don't that's a thing I could see banned potentially. Um, just because it's so hard to deal with on turn 2, especially if you're the one on the draw.
Yeah, you basically need like Razor Borrower or something to bounce it,
Yeah.
and then but
Nope.
like
Nope, that doesn't work. It gets hexproof.
no, you bounce the ley line.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
You bounce the ley line, and then you deal with the Scion afterwards.
I
But
see.
like the worst part about it is that the ley line can pitch to all of the evoke elementals,
Yep, because
which
it's every
like
color.
boy,
Yep, it's
boy, what a
stinky.
card.
It is stinky
Yeah.
when it's that. Yeah,
When it's good, it's
uh,
great. But when it's
it's bad.
suboptimal, it's bad. But
I
yeah, to me, modern is I don't want to say healthy, but like I think the only ban would be a violent outburst. If anything, I would much prefer unbans. I am not on the Mengucci train of unban Fury, unban Beans. I think unbanning Fury would be.
No, that would be bad.
I think unbanning Fury would be okay. Uh, I think creature combo decks need something to pull them down. If you want to ban Grief and unban Fury, fine. Uh,
Ooh, that I would like.
fine. But like
Uh,
Beans, I've gone over it 1,000 times on this podcast. I hate that card advantage engine. It
yeah,
breaks the way the game should be played.
just win more.
Yeah, like hey, you're playing a tempo game. Oh, now I'm playing a card advantage game. Like I think that's just wrong. I think it just incorrectly exists and should not have been printed into modern.
Goryo's Vengeance is the third played deck in the past 7 days.
It's a flavor of the week thing. I think the deck
Yeah.
is fine. The problem with that deck specifically is that Goryo's Vengeance is the only reanimation card that they have. Um,
Oh, really?
yes, there is like they have
Oh,
Ephemerate for like Grief and Solitude, and they can
yeah.
kind of do something with that game plan, but generally they don't do enough with that game plan.
Mm-hmm.
And they need the Gristlebrand / Atraxa. So if you just counter all the Ephemerates and all the Goryo's Vengeances, like your
Yeah.
opponent does nothing. Like
Yeah. This
eventually,
is
the mana base is constructed in a way to cast Atraxa eventually.
right.
But like a lot of the times, if they're
Yeah.
ephemerating like Philagi archaeologists, they're milling over all their lands. Like I play in my RCQ that I played in Modern that I got top 8 in. I played against Goryo's Vengeance in top 8,
Whoa,
and
crazy.
I would just counter their Goryos every time. And then in game 2, well, they fetched specifically into all their basics because they thought I was going to be playing Blood Moon, and I was like,
Right.
no, I'm not playing Blood Moon. I want to just stop the Goryos.
Right.
It's the only thing I care about, and then have like Graveyard Hate. But eventually, they just milled over every one of their lands and couldn't
Oh
cast
no.
anything. Like they couldn't hard cast Solitude. They couldn't hard cast Grief. They couldn't do anything. So
Yeah.
like
Oh my gosh.
that's the deck will do that sometimes, where it will just lose to itself badly.
Yeah.
So like I think the
Okay.
deck's solid. It's just like it. What tools did it get over the past several sets that makes it better? And I don't think there's an answer to that question that just makes it good. I think the only thing that makes it good is the fact that people are taking Graveyard Hate out of their sideboards.
Yeah. Let's see. Just looking at Pioneer real quick. The last 2 weeks. Uh, Rakdos Vampires is at around 20%
Sounds
of
right.
the meta share.
It's
What's their
better
win
Rakdos
rate?
mid range. It's Rakdos mid range with a combo,
Right.
which
Last
like
15 days.
that's what that deck needed.
57% on Rakdos Vampires. That's the win rate out of
Yep.
176 matches. Lotus Field combos 55 at 110 matches. Amelia is 107 matches at with 58% win rate. And the other one that's kind of an outlier here is in Soul Artifacts,
Is it?
62%.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the Pro Tour here. Just from
Yeah.
that. Is it Phoenix had like a 20% win meta share with like a 57% win rate at the Pro Tour? Yeah.
Oh,
Which like that jumps out to me as being like the thing that gets banned.
that's probably something they're going to look at to get banned.
That's
What brought that?
100% what they're looking at. I think if they're like,
Yeah.
I think there's going to, I think overall no changes. But if I was to truly predict only one change, Treasure Cruise is getting banned in Pioneer.
You think so?
Yes,
You
I
think
think
it's
it's
Treasure
it is
Cruise?
100% Treasure Cruise
I
because
can see it.
you cantripping into you being able to control the board and cantripping to get to your phoenixes to put them in the graveyard, and then eventually you're just like, all right, 1 mana, draw 3.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. I might play that for RCQ season if it's still around.
Yeah, if it doesn't get hit, it has a good matchup into Rakdos Vampires. I think it still will have a good matchup into Rakdos Vampires. You just need to figure out a way to gain card
Yeah.
advantage. The problem, of course, is that like Expressive Iteration's banned, Treasure Cruise potentially is banned. So, like, what do you do?
Yeah. Nah.
Unban
Start
Expressive
playing.
Iteration. That's what I'm saying.
Card's too good.
The card is very good. It's not better than Treasure Cruise.
Yeah, I don't understand how it's still legal in modern.
Expressive Iteration.
Actually, it's actually okay in modern.
Expressive Iteration. If Expressive Iteration didn't exist in modern, Murktide would be dead. Murktide
Yeah.
would be 100% be a dead deck.
Yeah, I just because isn't it banned in like Legacy too?
It sure is.
Yeah. So like I don't understand. Yeah. I think you might be right though. I think Treasure Cruise might be what they're looking at. Um but I feel like there's other cards now to it's draw 3 cards
Draw
for
3.
1.
Yep. I mean, Delve 7, but like still, that doesn't matter.
Right.
That's like
Well,
nothing for
yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like what else like could replace it to keep the deck alive.
Is Dig Through Time unbanned?
I think Dig Through Time. It's a 2 mana.
It's 2
I
mana,
don't.
but I think it's an instant.
It is Pioneer legal, and it is an instant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Dig Through Time is something. Like it's not fantastic, but like
it's look at 7, put 2.
yeah. So like it's 2 mana, draw 2, which like, but it's instant speed. So like that's fine. Like I
Yeah,
feel like that's the one. Like it's not a
that's
one
probably the
for one, but like
replacement.
that's probably the replacement.
I kind of want to buy some up.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
having Dig Through Times would be useful.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I have one. I have one of the store promo ones.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So there's that. Standard. I don't know what they're even going to be looking at.
Every set standard refreshes. I don't feel like there's anything broken within standard. Back to Pioneer really quickly
Oh, sure.
Because oh wait, was it banned? No, it wasn't. Because Fable of the Mirror Breaker has now won the last 4 Pro Tours.
Ooh, that's a good one
I
to
wonder.
be looking at too.
I
Because
wonder.
is it Phoenix run it sometimes too?
Is it Phoenix has it in the sideboard as like a card advantage engine against Rakdos? It's similar to the reason why Murktide runs it in its sideboard is that it needs like additional filtering and additional card advantage.
I must be looking at a bad
with
list.
it. But yeah, it runs like 1 or 2. It's nothing insane for Phoenix. But yeah.
Yeah.
So like maybe you get rid of that and treasure cruise and you go get fucked Phoenix, get fucked Rakdos.
That'd actually be nice. Not have Rakdos be a top deck for a reason.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
trying to think what else. I can't think of anything else. Like the Amalia combo. I see people like, oh, I think they're looking at that because they hate the draws, and it's like I can see that from like a gameplay aspect, like the draws or like just the whole aspect of that combo existing. Like,
didn't they change the way that
yep.
that works anyway? So like you now like with her you have to put the card into the graveyard.
No, because remember at the Pro Tour we had the Simon Nielsen thing where he threw Lauren's Escape onto the Wild Growth Walker.
Oh, and it
And
went
like
infinite.
it went
Yeah,
infinite because you don't have to. Like as long as you're just revealing a creature, it
yeah.
doesn't matter. So
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, like a non-land, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So like that causes it to go infinite. So yeah, in paper, it causes a draw. I think on Magic Online,
It breaks the client.
no, I can't remember what it is now on Magic Online. I think it gives you. Ooh, I don't know. I don't remember what it is. I'm sure somebody in the comments will remember though, like what it is on Magic Online for the Amalia combo if you interrupt it in a way.
Huh. Interesting.
But standard, I don't think anything. Um, Legacy,
Legacy won't be handled with this, I don't believe.
Legacy, something in blue black. Don't know what in blue black, but blue black Scaminator. I think that deck has become a little too good from what I've heard online. I don't know for sure. I'm not a Legacy person, but like that's something I've heard.
No, I don't think that at all. I haven't seen like in my past couple Legacy videos that I've watched from Thraben U and Bosch and Roll that I haven't seen much Scaminator.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then Popper, they've already said that nothing's going to be handled with this. So
Oh, did they?
yeah, they came out and
Okay.
said no changes as of right now, but we will put out like a state of the format, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be like, hey, we think the format's actually a pretty good spot because mono red without Swift Spear, not as good. Still good, but not
Still,
as good.
still tier one.
Still tier one, but like I'd rather like it's not potentially tier 0, although I think everyone is fucking complaining too much about Swiss Spear, and I don't think that
Yeah.
card was that bad.
Looks like Glitter's Affinity is the number one right now for the past 2 weeks.
That sounds right.
And I just did terrible when I played that deck. Oh, this is playing different cards from when I played it.
What were you
What?
playing?
What?
What colors were you playing?
The blue white. But like, I don't remember the Phyrexian Walker being there.
It's just a 0 mana.
Yeah.
It's just a 0 mana card. It offers the same things as Ornithopter does, except like no flying.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking through, seeing like if
I don't
there's
know.
any like
I still
big
think
upgrades. Yeah.
the best version of that is still like Enforcer, Frogmite,
Yeah.
uh, 8 Inspector, Ornithopter,
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's still the
Yep.
best version.
Yeah. I don't know. I think. I don't think there's going to be a lot to change. I think the most changes will probably be modern because that seems to be the most popular,
It is 100% the most popular format. It's not even a
the most
question.
popular format outside of Commander.
Yes, the most popular
The most,
competitive format.
yeah, yeah. We have to preface things now.
I mean, yeah, but like you know what we mean. Like we're not really talking about
Yeah,
Commander here. Like unless we're talking about CEDH, in which case like that's a whole different
that's
animal.
rising up.
Yeah.
Pre-modern's rising up too, but that's also not technically supported.
Yes,
At this
that's
time.
not on Magic Online. So like unless a format is on Magic Online, I don't feel like Wizards really recognizes that.
Yep. So yeah, it's interesting to see kind of like what the announcement's going to be. I'm excited to just see an announcement saying no changes and here's why.
Yeah.
I hope. Okay, so with the announcement, I hope they do a here's why.
They say they are going to do a here's why.
Okay. Well,
Or
here's why? Is it going to be on the Morning Magic on Tuesday, or
no,
is
it's
it
going to
going to
be baked
be?
in the article. Like there's
Baked
going
into
to
the
be
article.
like
Okay.
they've gone out and said we are not doing the no changes, see you next time thing. They're
Okay.
actually
Good.
going to be like,
Yeah.
here's what we felt with the format, blah 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 blah. So
Okay.
final
Good.
predictions for me in Modern, nothing. In Pioneer, nothing. But I could see in Modern Violent Outburst going and a card getting unbanned. Don't know what card. And then in Pioneer, I could see Treasure Cruise and Fable of the Mirror Breaker being banned.
Yeah. I I'm kind of rooting for Violent Outburst to be banned
Mm?
because then there's no reason for them to really be playing the four Force of Negations.
Oh, correct. 100%.
Yeah. That makes me happier being somebody in a blue deck now. So, uh, but that's like I said, that's my hope. I doubt that's what happens.
Right.
So we'll just kind of see where it goes from there. I think that's it, and then see you in a couple seconds for our reactions to the announcement.
Yeah, we'll be wearing different clothes as we light outside.
You won't see that because I have blackout curtains.
I mean, you won't see it from me either because I don't have my camera pointed towards the window.
All
But
right.
all right, see you in a couple seconds.
Okay, and here we are. We are back from the few seconds that you experienced. Dan and I, it's been a couple of days. We're different clothes, different places, different lighting. But the ban announcement has been made public, as you all probably know. Um, just going to run through really fast because we're a little bit limited on time here. We have Standard, no changes. Pioneer, no changes. Legacy, no changes. Explorer, no changes. Popper, no changes. Modern, we got big old B. Ban on violent outbursts. Rip Dan's wallet.
It's
Um,
fine.
and then,
It's just funny because the last time there was a BNR, I played Scam the FNM before, and then Scam got banned out. And now I play Rhinos at the FNM before the BNR, and Rhinos gets banned. So if you want a deck banned before, like around the next ban window, please send me it so I can play it at FNM and get it banned for you.
ayo. And lastly, a vintage. We have an unrestriction. Ponder is no longer restricted. You can now play for a Ponder. I don't play vintage. Dan doesn't play
Yeah,
vintage.
I don't care.
We don't have a lot to say about that. But yay Ponder. Um, Dan, I know the meat of this is going to be between Pioneer and Modern.
Yep.
There's just one little piece I want to bring up about Standard, and it's in their reason in some of their talk here, about their revitalization of Standard's efforts, right? Over the past year, they're claiming that they've seen Standard trending upward, with some of the stuff being the best numbers this past week, and Standard has now returned to being the most played 60 card tabletop format, in addition to other remaining the most played digital format, and they're thanking everybody for that. This, I feel, is an pat on the back for making making Standard the RCQ season. Like, yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
This is not saying that Standard is good, in my opinion. Like, the numbers don't mean Standard's good. It means that you put support behind Standard.
Sure. I don't know. I don't care. Like I didn't play
I know
standard.
you don't
I know
care.
my stores in my area didn't even run standard RCQ, so I don't know what they're saying. Like if
Right.
they're comparing them to standard numbers from the past year and being like it's the highest it's been in the last year, cool, good for you. But like that doesn't
Yeah.
mean the format's any good or
They're saying
popular.
since the panorama.
And it's the most played format in paper.
Yes. This is the point, like, that I just wanted to bring up. Like, this feels bad. This feels like a bad take.
I don't care.
You
Let them pat
like
themselves on the back. They're wrong about this. Modern's still
yeah.
predominant format. It's modern, pioneer, standard, and then all the other supplemental formats. It might vary by area to area where people actually care about
Right.
legacy or popper or whatever else, like pre-modern or who fucking cares. But
Right.
I don't care. I think they're wrong,
Yeah.
but who cares?
Yeah. I just wanted to bring it up because it's a point that they made, because there's but it's a bad point. Just wanted to call them out on it.
Sure.
But yeah, let's go to the big one. Let's go to modern right now.
Mhm.
Modern. We're seeing Violent Outburst banned. This hits two decks that are pretty high up on the format list right now.
Yep.
Both Living End and Rhinos. The Rhinos is they're getting hit hard because now they're down to only sorcery speed. Out cascade effects.
Yeah.
I feel like this is good.
Yes. What we talked about in the part before this was that there's the legacy play line of you violent outburst in your opponent's turn with force of negation backup, and that forces your opponent to only be able to play, like, only to defend your game plan on their turn, and then you can still enact your game plan on your turn.
Yep.
So like there's just like you can dominate an entire turn cycle as rhinos, and your opponent has to respect it. And that doesn't. I don't think that's healthy for the modern metagame. The legacy metagame, different story. But for the modern metagame, that's not health. That's not a healthy way to approach it.
Yeah. This you and I talked a little bit too on Discord, just saying like, yeah, this probably means that Flusterstorm is worse now in a lot of sideboards.
Uh,
Probably.
Worse is subjective. I think Spell Pierce is better now because Spell Pierce hits more things. The reason you were playing Flusterstorm was for whenever they violent outbursted in your turn, because you could Flusterstorm it, and Force of Negation would only hit one copy instead of with
Mm,
Spell Pierce where it hits the whole damn spell.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I was just thinking more so too from like uh yeah, just like you have less to worry about with them not being able to use force of negation now to protect their combo. So like I don't know. I mean, there's still like ways for them, I guess, to play this at instant speed. There's a certain ley line out there that that lets
Leyline of
them cast.
Anticipation.
Yeah. So I mean,
Like they could do
that
that, but that seems terrible.
it does seem bad, right? That's four cards now that they're taking up. Now they do you think they? I know we're talking about them going now towards the Bant build a
Mhm.
little bit, right? So they're going to start running Ardent. Do you think they kind of double down and start running Bloodbraid Elf as
No,
well? No.
no, no.
All right.
God, no.
Okay.
Absolutely
All
fucking
right.
not.
All right.
No.
Okay.
No, that sounds terrible. Why would you go up in mana?
Uh.
No, what's going to happen is they're going to go into Bant and then they're going to play Teferi Time Raveler. Yeah,
No.
that I
No.
guarantee.
That's
Like,
worse.
I have the deck right here. I might just build, like, they're probably going to go the Leyline of the Guildpact Scion Teferi package of like,
Oh, this sounds worse.
yeah. I mean, it could be, but the thing is like it's all on your turn. Like it's all on their own turn, so you have ways to defend against it. But of course, like if they go like if they have exactly if they have exactly like Leyline Scion Teferi on curve, you're just like, oh well, this was fun.
Oh. Yeah. That's the scary part to me is the Teferi.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. But like I
Yeah.
think also the problem with that though is that there's no actual sorcery cascade spell.
Mm,
But what it does do is it does protect they take a turn off from, there's no sorcery cascade spell in those colors, because
right.
Ardent Plea is an enchantment. There's treacherous, no, it's devilish dread or something like that. There's something it's a black and a red cascade sorcery spell. It says target creature can't block this turn.
Right.
And so like it's completely outside of those colors. So that's why I don't think you run it. I think you just run Ardent Plea instead, because Ardent Plea at least shares a color with your Shardless Agent.
Right.
But Teferi is there. They go Teferi on turn 3 and then Cascade on turn 4. And assuming you haven't dealt with the Teferi, their Cascade is protected. So now
Mm-hmm.
you have to deal with 2/4/4 Rhinos as opposed to uh, dealing with the Cascade spell itself, or like the Crashing
Yeah.
Footfalls itself.
Okay.
Can you instant
Hmm.
speed suspend?
Can you instant speed suspend?
So, like, if you
Mm,
resolve a Teferi and you plus, and you go, okay, In your end step, I'm going to suspend crashing
No,
footfalls. Is that a
no,
thing?
no. I think suspend's inactivated. Like I think it's like an ability of a spell.
Hmm. I'm interested in that. I'm
I
interested in
don't
that
think
line.
I
It's
don't.
probably a terrible line, but I'm interested in that line.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, hold on. Now I'm looking up suspend because
No,
I
no, no. We
don't
don't have time for
think
this.
it's a keyword ability. So it's not. It's not. It's not. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So cool stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm fine with
it's
this.
I'm good with this too. It makes the play pattern I feel at least a little more fair, even if they dip more
Yes,
into a control package.
I
Um,
think that people are in the reactions I've seen recently. People are just like, "Oh boy, what do I take out? How do I get rid of all of my Cascade sideboard slots and put in other stuff?" And it's like the deck's still
no,
going to be good. Like
yeah,
it's
it's
still
still
going to be
gonna
like
be there.
probably a tier 2 deck, but like
I don't even. I don't know. It could still be up there, right?
yeah,
Like you
I
could
think it's
just.
still a strong deck. Like
Yeah,
I think this band is on the level of Scam where it just takes it down a peg, makes it more fair, and then
yeah, it drops it below that 10% win rate
10% win rate. Oh
or
no,
play
no.
rate, play rate, play
Yeah,
rate.
yeah, yeah. We want it. We
Sorry,
want it around 10%. Like I think we
I
want
meant to. I meant to say
Cascade
play
in
rate.
total
Yeah,
around
yeah,
10%.
yep.
I think this kills Living End entirely because
Yeah, yeah, because they. Yeah,
Living End's best play was in your combat on your turn 3 was to Violent Outburst, removing all your creatures and then putting all their stuff on the battlefield, and you're just like, well, shit.
yeah. I'm actually okay with that because I feel like the living end play pattern was worse
Yeah,
than rhinos because like yeah, with rhinos you could at least get something big enough to try and block it, right?
right.
Yeah. With living end you can't
Yeah.
unless you're a reanimator style strategy.
So the two decks on the rise from this are again Yawgmoth and Amulet Titan. They now
Uh,
lose one of their worst matchups in Rhinos because Rhinos ticking down means Yawgmoth and Amulet ticks up. So you're going to be siding more for Yawgmoth and Amulet. I mean, I was already doing that in my meta
yeah,
game anyway, but that's likely what you're going to see a lot more of this weekend is Rhinos, or I'm sorry, is Yogg and Amulet. So for blue players, pack them Stern Scoldings, get them subtleties, just have those ready.
yeah, yeah. That sounds like a good play there, and the just I don't like the fact that we keep pushing Yogg. I don't know that they're necessarily pushing Yogg, right?
Yeah.
Like it just feels like everything is like trying to promote Yogg, even though like
I mean, incidentally, I think the deck just has to
yeah,
be shown as broken, and I don't think we're at that point yet where the deck is being shown as broken. Same with Amulet Titan. I think the thing with Amulet Titan, like I've seen like really good Amulet play and some really bad Amulet play. Like no offense, Mengu, but like Mengu misplays all the time with Titan and still
yeah,
pulls out victories, and it's like, okay, I know that Mengu's a good player, but like also like if you
yeah,
can misplay this badly with Titan and still beat people with it, like it says something about
yeah,
the deck.
yeah. Uh, I kind of want to try Titan. Maybe I'll do that this week. For my modern video, I'll have to read the 87 year or 87 page dissertation to
That's true.
figure out how that works. But let's kind of put a nail in the coffin for modern right now. It kind of happened what we kind of thought would
Yeah.
possibly happen. So, but yeah, Pioneer though, Dan, you wanted to talk about Pioneer. It's the upcoming RCQ format. We saw no changes. They did do some updates here, but how did you want to play through this one?
So let me see here. It says changes Phoenix. Uh, with the new cards impacting the format, those being Smuggler Copter, No More Lies, Deduce, Meticulous Archive, Amalia, all that combo, Picklock, Prankster, and Sleight of Hand, Archdruid's Charm. I feel like enough has come into the format that Pioneer is in a great spot for your upcoming RCQ beginning in April. What that really means is, boy, if you're not playing Phoenix or don't have a strong plan for Phoenix, don't even play
Yeah. Yeah, because I think Phoenix was putting up better numbers, and it probably is still putting up better numbers
Likely.
uh, than the vampires deck,
I
right? Like
mean, I
that one
haven't
just
looked.
hit.
I
I
haven't looked
haven't
recently, but
either.
like the
We don't have
vampires deck,
time
I
either.
wonder. I haven't looked at Vein Ripper or Sorin recently, but like the Phoenix deck at least had its own precon that
That's
gave
true.
you
Yeah.
most of the pieces, and then Sleight of Hand and Picklock Prankster are worth like fucking nothing. So like, who cares?
Yeah.
Though, like that deck is extremely cheap right now.
Yep. So as of right now, meta share wise, Rakdos is 20%. Is 14 when we go look at win rates for the last 15 days. Uh, Rakdos is 50. The Vampires is at 57. And where is it? Phoenix is actually at 40 cents, so 10% lower.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. As we've seen with
Just just from
Murktide,
just
like
from
if you're a
just
bad
from
player and you're playing Phoenix, then you're kind of in trouble. So like
yeah.
the PT numbers aren't exactly representative of an entire deck's player base. It's only just like the top, 0.1% of that deck's player base at any time.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, also with like the shift from Phoenix, or not from Phoenix, but I'm gonna say with the shift of Rakdos Vampires going up in play overall, these numbers make sense, right? Like it's a spike in a flavor of the week kind of thing. I'm not saying Vampires is a flavor of the week. I'm just saying like that's just you know it's getting played more, so it's going to see higher numbers.
Yeah. Do me a favor, look at paper prices for both of those decks.
Okay, yeah. Let me just do that real fast. Average price of Vampires 712, Phoenix 328.
Yeah, so Phoenix is half the price. So that's what I mean. Is like in paper, things are going to be a lot more expensive. Or I'm sorry, are going to be like the things that are less expensive. You're probably going to see more play of. So Phoenix is
Right.
likely going to be the deck you're going to see more of than Rakdos Vampires. It's just that with the way tickets work on Magic Online, so there's a lot of Magic Online events. You're going to see a lot of people just being like, "Oh, I can just like randomly get my Vein Rippers and
Yeah.
Sorins right now."
Yeah, let me jam this and not pay $40 for a Vein Ripper or
Yeah,
however much it costs. Actually, let's see how much Vein Ripper costs right now. $22.99
yeah, and
for
Sorin
a
costs
one.
about probably 35.
Yep, exactly 35.
Damn, look at
And they're
me.
well, you're a penny off, but I called it 45. But yeah, they're 40 or four of each for both of those. So that's where the majority of the cost of the deck is coming from.
100%. Like you typically have like all the other. Well, actually, where's Shieldred in play? Is it seeing 2 ofs, 4 ofs, 3 ofs, 1 ofs,
It's
0
it's
ofs?
it's a one of in the sideboard.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Well, all right. That's where another big majority of the cost is going to come in. Like it's still like $100 card.
yeah. Fable didn't see any mention at all, which is crazy in my opinion.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. They want
Yeah,
to keep Fable around. I don't care. But like I just felt like if you had to hit something, I felt from Rakdos, like Rakdos just can't continually be the best deck. Like Rakdos
right,
just needs like something to push it back down, and
right.
Fable is something.
Yep, yep. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of see where this RC season takes us because end of the month. End of the month is the end of the standard season.
Good.
I have one more tournament for that, so fingers crossed that I at
Yeah.
least top 8.
The RCQ that I was thinking about going to, there's a One Piece tournament that day instead, so I'm going to play in the One Piece tournament instead.
Yeah, have fun with One Piece.
Yeah, like I don't. I'm sorry. I don't care about standard. Like you
That's
can't
fine.
convince me to spend hundreds of dollars on a format that has cards that are worthless in other formats.
That's fine.
And that it rotates every 3 years. It just that format seems not very friendly
Yeah,
to anybody.
yeah. That's well. So that's why I kind of built the Boros Convoke as well as the Azorius Control. Both of those decks are pretty much the shells for the Pioneer versions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see use in both out of both of those.
We'll see. I don't know about Boros Convoke. I think Pioneer is a bit too hostile for it with like Rakdos and Is It Phoenix being the top two decks in the format. I feel like Convoke just kind of gets like steamrolled by both of them.
Potentially. I don't know. I haven't played any of it lately, so I'll
That's just a
kind of have to
feeling.
just see. Yeah, yeah. But Dan, do you have anything else you wanted to mention?
No, I'm fine with this ban list. I would have liked to see something unbanned, but like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Whenever they do the annual, I feel like that's where things are going to be unbanned versus like
I agree. Yeah,
these quote unquote emergency ban lists.
it's not really an
Yeah,
emergency. It's more just like, hey, we're just going to make sure everything's like fairly more balanced,
yeah,
and I'm actually happy to see more than just everything's good. Here's our reason why everything's good. Like they actually took action, so I'm happy with that.
right. No,
Um, yeah,
it's fine. You're all welcome.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
very welcome.
Dan, it's your fault.
Yep.
But awesome. So if that's the case, thanks everybody for listening. If you made it this far, please let us know in the comments below what your takes are on the bans and restrictions, or unrestrictions, we should say. And comment, like, subscribe if you haven't. And on the podcast side, catch us on your favorite podcatcher, subscribe, leave us a review. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Tell us what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right. And with that, Dan, I'm going to say keep calm and spike on.